Hey y'all, what's up? JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. We are live. It's been noted by a news reporter, okay, over here on Facebook. I want to make sure that I have her name right. Miss Janice Rogers out at WBRC over in Birmingham, confirming that a source has told her charges will be announced for Miss CARLEE Russell very shortly. Okay, it looks like Miss Girl did make it down to the attorney's office, and we are going to get into that. All right, definitely like the video. Be sure to share the video. Let me make sure that we're good over on my end, over on my channel. Give me 1 second here as you guys come on into the room. Okay, let me go back over here and let me see if we can play a little music for the time being as I pull my stuff up so that we can get into this some photos of Miss CARLEE. Miss CARLEE has circulated. Give me 1 second here. Girl, you done did it now. And them charges on our way. Yeah. I said them charges on our way. Hey. Yeah. I said them charges on our way. Hey. Yeah. I said them charges on our way. Okay. Okay. Them charges on the way. Them charges on the way. They on the way. They on the way, girl. You done did it now, but you done did it now, but you done did it now. You done did it now, but you done did it, you done did it, you done did it, you done did it. And them charges on the way. I said them charges on the way. Them charges on the way. Okay. The charges are indeed on the way. However, I want to get into this news article because first off, okay, I ended up seeing this photo of Miss CARLEE girl, and it looks like it's Miss CARLEE. Okay, it looks like her daddy trying to get her in the car, whatever it's giving. Okay, I can't really tell. That might be, the pic is giving a little blurry. So it's like, is it CARLEE or is it her mama? But if you go into the back seat, I would want to believe that it is you. But we know for sure that's your daddy, though, girl. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just let you know what the people that already let us know about what's so going on out here, honey. Okay. But let's go ahead and get into this because they're saying video shows CARLEE Russell leaving attorney's office in Birmingham. All right. Let's blow that up. Here we are. We'll play this here and see what it gives us. First, it's gonna give us an ad. I hate when I have to play the actual music and they won't let you like mute it or anything. You done did it now. Yeah, that was Miss CARLEE getting in the back seat of that car. You done did it now. Honey. All right, so y'all could see that was Miss Carly. All right. They said also seen leaving attorney Emery Anthony's office with Carly Russell were her parents, Talithia and Carlos. Okay. They were also with her when she left. As you saw in the video, the Hoover police is holding a press conference at 1 p.m. to give an update on the investigation into her case. All right. Now, y'all know it's coming. It is coming. It is coming. All right. Um, we is on Georgia time over here. So we got a few more minutes before it's time for it to get started. Okay. It's going to be 2 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock their time. So right now it's like 1:34. So we do have a few more minutes before we get into that. And we'll probably check out some other news reporting as we are waiting for that news conference to come up. But let's go ahead and finish getting into more of this article here and anything additional that they may have to say. All right. They're saying on Monday, her attorney released a statement where she admitted that she didn't see a toddler and acted alone. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th. The statement read in part, my client did not see a baby on the side of the road and had the audacity, if you ask me, to ask for some type of forgiveness from the public for her actions. Okay. This is what she asked for, forgiveness from the public, honey. Girl, this is, you done did it now. Now, they were supposed to bring this to us earlier this week where people were alleging that she was going to be arrested or whatever, and you had a lot of the news people down there waiting to see if she was going to be arrested or whatever was going on, but that didn't happen. I think something could have happened at the office or the arresting office or whatever that resulted in her not actually being arrested and charged. But they are supposed to come to us with this press conference, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to give her. Is she going to get off? Or are the charges going to be very lenient? Like, what is it giving? Thank you so much, Rain Bro, for the super chat. Them charges are what? On the way. LOL, my first live in real time. Thank you so much for the super chat. Because they is indeed, them charges is indeed, they are on the way. Let me go ahead and bounce over and see what they have to share with us over here. Okay, so they're waiting to report on some stuff too. Okay, but I'll still switch the tab over. So it looks like we're all just waiting to see what's going to happen here. What's up, y'all? I'm in Birmingham, and baby, my co-workers and I are ready, girl. Not y'all on the clock and trying to see what's going on, girl. That would be me too, girl. No more work will be getting done for the rest of the day. No more work for the rest of the day. I'm sorry. We got to see what's going on. Y'all probably should have put y'all leave in for the rest of the day, but girl, everybody's probably like, it's all good. It's understood. We know we ain't gonna do no work today.
WFLA Now will begin momentarily.
Because I want to see what they have to say before we as we wait for this press conference to come up. Let me see if there's anything else that was shared about Miss Carly. They're just giving us the timeline right now.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
CARLEE Russell, after admitting to lying about her kidnapping and seeing a toddler on the side of I-459, expected to face charges in Alabama. A press conference called this afternoon by authorities who will announce specifics on the legal process going forward. Hello there to you folks. JB here with you live in the Stream Center, awaiting the feeds coming up here on my touchscreen and just keeping an eye here on the monitor, actually on the other side of the Stream Center, just keeping an eye on when exactly we get the podium shot for the press conference that has been called for 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central. We're going to spend a good amount of time taking your comments, because by now, if you're here on this live stream now, especially in the YouTube live comment section, hello, YouTube. If you've been with us here on YouTube waiting for this live stream to begin, chances are you're very familiar with the CARLEE Russell story. In the last couple of weeks, of course, that story becoming national and really international news as well. A woman who pulled off on the side of the road.
Hilarious. What's up, Gabor? Thanks for the super chat. Miss Carly was wearing that black dress. Listen, she probably was wearing it, but it's giving in mourning. Okay, it's giving in mourning, girl. She about to be mourning her freedom, but we gonna see. We gonna find out what they finna hit us with.
side of Interstate 459 in Hoover, Alabama. It was all a made up story. As to why exactly it was made up, that really remains the question. But as people know, breaking the law is breaking the law. So if the law was broken in Alabama, you would expect charges to be filed. And that is, of course, what has been playing, going on behind the scenes with the district attorney there in central Alabama, with authorities determining what is the appropriate course of action in regards to CARLEE Russell. So here in the Stream Center, waiting for the feeds to actually become available. What happens over the course of the coming really 15, 20 minutes is camera crews will be permitted inside the building where this press conference will be taking place. They'll turn on their cameras, they'll distribute. It becomes available here on my touchscreen. We tap it, and then, of course, we're live to bring you that press conference in high definition, live across all platforms. So saying hello to our audience joining us. And what I'd like to do is
no cheeses. You got chips.
as I noted at the beginning of this live stream, if you're here now in our comment section, chances are you are very familiar with the story, and you might.
For those that are joining in, know that the Hoover Police Department are now coming. They're about to do a press conference in about 20 minutes to let us know exactly what the criminal charges are for Miss CARLEE Russell. Okay, they're going to let us know. They've been having to, do a little conversation and see what is actually what's going to be the best charges for her. So I'm looking forward to finding out what do they what are they going to be primarily misdemeanors? Is she going to get a little piece of a felony? I came to y'all earlier today about the 11-year-old girl down there in Orlando, Florida, that called the cops on some fake kidnapping type stuff, saying that her 14-year-old friend had been snatched up or whatever. And when the police realized that this girl was not at the location that she said that she was at, and they went to her house, they realized the little girl was lying. They arrested that girl on sight. Okay, she only had a few hours to fuck up. And guess what? She has a misdemeanor and now a felony at 11 years old. Okay, and her parents gonna probably have to pay for that fine of whatever they spent out using resources, because I believe they even got like a helicopter or a drone up in the air trying to find out more details about the area that the young lady said that she was in. And you're 11 years old, so now she locked up in a juvenile facility. So I'm like, girl, y'all hurried up and got this little girl up out of here. Okay, y'all done hurry up and got this little girl up out of here. So I'm like, okay, now it's y'all turn to go ahead and get it to Miss CARLEE. So let's see. And I just don't think that and she carried this lie. First of all, the girl went missing for 2 days, was never missing. And she carried the lie for an additional week. So I don't think that whatever they charge her with should be lenient. And that's just my personal, I don't think it should be like that. I mean, you wasted some good time, but we shall see. We shall see. Okay, Miss Ma'am definitely had the time of her life, and a part of her life will now be these charges. She's under 18, so I think that with this little 11-year-old, she might be able to get her record expunged, at some point. But we'll see what's gonna happen with her, because she did it to her damn self. Okay, I can't. Talking about she saw a challenge on online. Talking about, at first they said it was on YouTube. Girl, ain't been no challenges on YouTube in I don't know how long. You would mean a TikTok challenge, but I don't think that's what you saw. I think what you saw was Miss CARLEE, and you wanted to, imitate what she did, and you had to learn. And I don't know if it's because you weren't black that you thought that you would be able to slide on the ice. Okay, you thought you was gonna be able to slide on the ice, and when that gonna happen, but they showed you on that day that something will definitely happen, because we're not gonna play with y'all. Y'all not gonna make a mockery down here in Orlando like the people was doing up there in Hoover, Alabama. And so they got your legs. And I'm just letting you know, okay? So there's that.
At this stage in the story, especially, there's a legal process.
Thank you so much for becoming a member, Rainbow. I appreciate
you are innocent
that
until you're proven
Thank
guilty.
you.
And should CARLEE Russell face charges, we don't know if she's going to what plea she would enter, if she would plead guilty, try to come to a deal with the district attorney's office, or whether or not a deal would be offered, or if she would plead not guilty for, there's a couple of different
She
reasons
needs to plead
why
guilty. She
would
just
plead,
admitted she was guilty in
not
a
guilty.
statement.
But that, of course, would lead to her day in court. So
If that girl did not plead guilty, that would be, if she did not plead guilty, that would be completely messed up, in my personal because you done already wrote this statement admitting that you're guilty. And then if you were to come to the front and did not admit that guilt after you done wrote a statement, you playing in the judge's face. I would feel away. I'll try and find another charge to put on your young ass, in my opinion.
She did have this elaborate plan to make this up for whatever reason. Was it to receive attention, social media fame? What the reason could have been still eludes us, or what the reason is still eludes us. But if she did come up with this elaborate plan, do you believe if she broke the law, should she face charges? I mean, that's really what this question mostly boils down to. And
that's what they're there for. When you break the law, you got to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, she broke the law, what it is. I think that we should, cut her some slack. Or people, I think, mostly agree. I'm speaking for you, our commenters. People mostly agree that the law applies to everybody. And now we have talked about whether or not there's a mental health component to this case. That has sparked an emotional reaction for people in our comment section. People saying, look, she might have had a sudden mental health breakdown, or other commenters have said mental health can't be a scapegoat when the law is inconveniently not in your favor. So that the mental health component to this case is emotional for a lot of people and does prompt a response one way or the other, usually from a lot of people in my coverage of the story and reading through thousands of comments. But
mental health thing.
That's where we are with this particular story. What are the charges going to be, and how are things going to proceed going forward?
Those are the questions
she has not been arrested as of this hour, just a heads up. And also, too, really quickly, I made a lot of calls on this story yesterday. And as I was making calls, the expectation was this press conference was going to be taking place Thursday, July 27th. But there was a jurisdictional matter that needed to get cleared up. That's something I can confidently report. It was a jurisdictional matter that had to get cleared up, which is the reason why it didn't get held yesterday as originally intended, and why this press conference is being held this Friday, July 28th, 2023. So that jurisdictional matter, I've heard a couple of things. I don't want to get much into specifics. It'll be so on, water under the bridge. Really. But yes, that was the reason why the press conference was not held yesterday.
Hoover PD did just go ahead
reading through some of your comments
and make an announcement. And they did say that the press conference is indeed happening. CARLEE Russell investigation press conference at 1 p.m. We will be live streaming. Okay, so that's definitely going to go down. They just posted that like about 7 minutes ago. So it's definitely happening, of course. They gave it. I do appreciate one of the news reporters coming to the front to confirm, honey, because they definitely gave it to us at the last minute like they did the last time. So it will be up in just a minute because it's 1:47. So we almost there, y'all. Almost there.
A punishment of a year in prison. All right, reading through some of your comments. Jeff, yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way as Jeff. #KJB. What is the purpose of having laws if they're not enforced?
Period.
If there are laws that were broken and the person admits that they are at fault, isn't the expectation that there is going to be charges filed? If you do not proceed with charges, you are opening up a massive can of worms, are you not, for copycat behavior in other cities, other states across the country?
I agree.
If CARLEE Russell got away with it, what makes me any different? Could be the line of thinking for somebody else.
And I just want to say to the people that are like, they don't understand why so many people want to see her have to, face jail time or whatever the case is. It's really because the story is so big and there's so many more people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the crime was committed. she has to do jail. Like, that's just what I don't think it would be fair. Well, here's the thing. I think they should charge her with jail time. Now, if the judge decides that she's just only going to get probation, that's fine. Right. But at the same time, like, you can't just do what you want to do like this and lie and keep it up for a whole week and get everybody else involved in your lie and then think that you ain't got no consequences. And for people to kind of feel like it's weird for so many people to want to see this young lady locked up, I think it's weird that y'all don't want to. In my personal, that's what I think. I think it's weird that y'all don't want to see that. You did the time. Like, that's what the laws is there for. It's unfortunate. I can see if she really ain't do nothing at all and she never lied or whatever, and she was really missing it in. Now she got to sit up here and go to jail for something that happened to her or whatever like that. Like, come on. Like, I think that's weird, but that's just, my opinion about that.
We'll be feeding back a signal and we will be able to access those feeds here in the stream center. But at this time, no feeds have been fired up just yet. But if you're looking for that podium shot, you're looking for where this press conference is going to be taking place, don't go anywhere. We'll have it in the coming minutes. I keep looking this way to check for those feeds here again in the WFLA Now Stream Center.
So we are still waiting.
All right, some other comments. You can see they're scrolling on my screen here.
This girl sat up here, admitted that she was lying, admitted that she sat up here and wasted people's time, and y'all want to sit up here and act like she don't deserve no type of consequences. Because that's what I hear typically, right? Not only do I hear people say that, oh, she shouldn't get jail time, but I rarely hear what y'all think the consequences should be. So when you have that conversation, I think you should follow it up with what you think those consequences should be. Then if you don't think that she should get jail time, then what do you think that she should get? You think she should just get a fine and that's okay? Girl, absolutely not. Not when you had Anaya Blanchard mama out there. Anaya Blanchard's mama was out there like searching. Okay, this lady actually lost her child. Do you hear what I say? Actually lost her child gone. So yeah, no ma'am. And then I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jelani Day. Jelani Day's mom, actually, let me see if I could pull that up for y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I could pull that up for y'all real quick, because Jelani Day's mama had something to say too, because she did not like what she did. And y'all know Jelani, for the people that don't know, Jelani Day was a graduate of Alabama A&M University, right? And I believe that he was in Chicago working on his residency. He was trying to be a doctor or something of that sort, okay? And what happened was he went missing for quite some time. I don't believe that the police department did any justice with that case, with helping the mom find him or anything. But they did find his body eventually. But it was crazy because I believe his eyeballs was missing, different parts of his body was missing, and it was real bad. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to send this comment to myself so that I can let you guys know exactly what his mama had to say, because she thought it was a disgrace for CARLEE to do such a thing. Okay, so did that pop up on my? Let me see if it did not pop up there. Because I want y'all to hear what this lady had to say. Okay, let's try something different, because I am trying to send this over to myself. Well, matter of fact, this is what I'll do. I'll just read to you guys what it is that this woman had to say. And this is what his mom said. This is Jelani Day's mom. Oh, hold on. You know what? Let me do it like this. Yeah, okay. So she says, there are real people out here like me who have children that have actually went missing and lived this nightmare. My son, Jelani Day, went missing and didn't get the assistance of the police as quickly as CARLEE did. We had to fight for the exposure. Okay, we had to fight for the exposure, assistance, and resources. For CARLEE to make a mockery of something so serious infuriates me beyond words. Whatever her reasoning behind it was so unfucking necessary, is what the mama said. She goes on to say, I need the CIA to come go through my son's phone and tell me what he last did, who he texted, what he searched, and what these hillbilly police are hiding. We are real outsold who need those who needs those resources and help. Jelani Day needs the resources and needs the help. So she was really upset with what happened to this lady. I'm sorry, to what happened to her son, and the fact that this young lady gets to sit up here and play with the law and she could just get away with it like life is grand. And that's not fair. And I'm with the mama. Okay. And based on how upset she was about everything, I'm sure she wants that girl to go ahead and face whatever consequences there are, okay, as far as her being charged or anything like that. So there's that. So I don't understand why y'all think that. And then y'all be the main ones that follow up with a statement of, oh, well, it's real people out here. Let's focus on them. And we're going to focus on them. We're going to get to them. You know what I'm saying? But at this time, she needs to be handled. And if it comes with jail consequences, it is what it is. I don't know if she's not going to do jail time. She might get probation. She may not have been in trouble before. So it might be easy for her to just get the probation and not have to do any jail time. But we'll just have to wait and see. She might get a few months. She might get no months at all. She might just be on probation for a year or 2 years or whatever. But if those are part of the consequences and that's what the judge decides on, then cool, because I don't see this going to trial. I would not want to try and take this case to trial at all. So the best thing for you to do is just go ahead and plead guilty so you can move on. You know what I'm saying? I would just go ahead, plead guilty. I wouldn't even try and act like I was innocent or anything, because then you're going to be playing in the judge's face and the juror's face if you do that. And these are your peers. And the block is too hot for you to think that you're going to go to trial and think you're going to be found innocent. That's not going to happen, girl. They're going to have to go outside of Hoover and Birmingham city limits just to find you some jurors to sit up there and go through this whole trial. And I just don't think that is worth that much. I don't think it should go that far. That's just what I think. Girl, just plead guilty, and then they might give you a lesser charge. You already gave a statement. You kind of apologized or whatever. So they might not give you no jail time. That might be what they give you as far as charges, but that might not be what you're awarded. You might just do probation. But whatever comes with it, right? Because that's what you did. Payroll. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think a hefty fine and a year in prison is good. Okay. What's going on, Gabor? Gabor says, I do. He was last seen going into a dispensary. Yes. I just learned those details, that he was last seen going into a dispensary. And then next thing you know, we're talking about Jelani Day. Next thing you know, his phone was like tossed on the side of the highway or something like that. And then at some point, this man, I don't know what this man was doing, but he happened to just stroll upon the boy's body in some water and stuff. So it's like a really kind of scary case. But I really hope and pray that they are able to find out some details about what happened to that boy. Like, the mama was not lying. Like, they spent a lot of, wasted resources on CARLEE that could have indeed, gone to him and other people's families. Like, girl, that's crazy. But of course, that's Alabama versus, Chicago. But I hope they find out what happened to him, because that's still a mystery to this day. I talked about that on my channel. Like, I think it happened last year. I talked about it on my channel last year. Now, whether a lot of y'all watched it, I don't know. Y'all be wanting to hear about other missing people, but are you checking out the videos to learn about them when I discuss them?
And beyond,
it's on y'all.
Charges are expected, if you believe the Fox News report. Those charges are going to be 2 misdemeanor charges.
We're just waiting here.
Maximum penalty of 1 year behind bars. So you can see various members of the media. They are getting ready for that press conference when it does in fact begin at 2:00 Eastern, 1:00 Central, which is approximately 2.5 minutes from now. So here in the Stream Center, folks, what we'll be doing is reviewing some of your questions, some of your comments. We did have a question asked via a YouTube question that was put out. And we asked, if charges are to be filed against CARLEE Russell, do you agree with the decision? We had Sarah who chimed in with a really smart sort of response, saying that she voted no simply because she doesn't know what the charges are. It depends on what the charges are. But for what it's worth, again, an unscientific social media poll, more than 94% of people expect there to be charges filed here today. And so, again, there's the press conference. We have another feed, a backup feed, if you will, from another camera crew in the building. Of course, various members of the media that have all gathered here today for the Hoover police press conference. I think we're expected to hear with hear from the DAs. Let's listen in.
All good? All good. All right, 2-minute warning, 2 minutes.
All right, and there you hear
It's about to
2
go
minute
down.
warning. So again, JB here within the Stream Center, folks. The press conference will be starting here momentarily. After the... You hear some chatter there with some of the reporters in the room who are, of course, I'm sure expecting charges themselves as far as this press conference. All signs are pointing to that as far as what Hoover Police and the DA's office will be sharing. So again, the press conference is about to begin in about, call it 60, 90 seconds now. After the press conference is done, what we will be doing is spending some time with you on stream and breaking down what we have learned and what we still don't know. We might get a investigative update on this case, whether or not a second statement has been provided, whether or not CARLEE Russell has actually had that second interview with detectives.
I doubt it.
It might be more than charges, but we really don't know.
I
We're
doubt
about to
that
find
girl
out
has
in
met with
a matter of
anybody.
moments here. We'll go now live full screen. We'll be listening in. And again, after the press conference concludes, we'll be getting your reaction out of the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter comment sections with hashtag AJB. So after the press conference is done, stick around. And again, you're watching here live from the Hoover Police Department in Central Alabama, live across all platforms here on WFLA Now.
All right, y'all. It's 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Frank and Pam Bearfield Training Center. I'm Captain Keith Sescaliba with the Hoover Police Department, and we're here today to provide you with the latest update in the CARLEE Russell investigation. Joining me at the podium today will be Police Chief Nick Durzis, followed by Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall. Chief Durzis will make a prepared statement. After Chief Durzis' statement is over with, Attorney General Marshall will also offer a few comments. Once that is completed, both gentlemen will return to the podium, and you guys will have an opportunity to ask questions. With that, I will turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain. Good
Okay,
afternoon.
he's sharp.
Earlier today, Hoover Police detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of CARLEE Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring CARLEE home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed. Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches in hopes they could find CARLEE's alive so her family would not experience the pain and suffering that they felt when their loved ones never returned home. As we know, actions can have consequences, and that's why we're here today. This afternoon, CARLEE Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction. Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution through district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of Jefferson County Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors.
Facts.
Despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration. But existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you that I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime. Because of the attention this case has garnered, we've requested Attorney General Steve Marshall's office adopt this case, and they've agreed to do so. The Hoover Police Department wants to thank everyone that assisted us from the beginning and continues to assist us in this case as we work its way through the criminal justice system. Joining me at the podium today is State of Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall.
Thank you, Chief. Let me begin by commending Hoover Police Department Chief Durgis for his leadership in this investigation. Obviously, this captured many's attention as a result of not only the allegations themselves, but also the concern about a possible victim and being able to return her home. The work that was done by the Hoover Police Department was monumental in its lift, and the results of that work you are seeing come to fruition today with the charges that have been levied. I also want to commend the many other men and women of both state and federal law enforcement for their work collaboratively with the Hoover Police Department in assisting in this investigation. Chief, appreciate the opportunity to be able to partner with you in this prosecution. We will dedicate a team to be able to help the city of Hoover in handling these 2 individual charges and look forward to bringing this case to fruition. One thing I would add is that we don't see this as a victimless crime. There are significant hours spent, resources expended as a result of this investigation. And not only that, but the many men and women who are civilians that wore those yellow vests on a hot afternoon and evening looking for someone they thought was abducted, trying to be of assistance. We intend to fully prosecute this case and look forward to working with the Hoover Police Department moving forward. We also would tell you that we will continue to monitor this investigation to determine whether or not there are any additional charges that need to be brought, and we'll evaluate those as the facts are presented.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, this time we'll open the floor to questions. If you'll please raise your hand and identify yourself and your affiliation when I call on you.
Yeah, David Lamb, CBS 42. This question for Mr. Attorney General. What is it about this case that made it rise to the level to where it was a case that you wanted to take on and be involved in?
We handle cases across the state. We have jurisdiction throughout for both misdemeanors and felonies. And when Chief Durgis asked for our assistance, we were more than happy to be able to assist.
Is it common for you all to be involved in misdemeanors like a case like this?
It's not uncommon.
Right here.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610, 100.1 FM, Summit Media. Chief, this question is for you.
Yes.
What time was CARLEE arrested today with her attorney, and has she made bail?
She has. She was processed in our facility within the past hour.
Do you expect any charges to be forthcoming with her parents, or is this just all on CARLEE at this point?
So at this point, and again, I think anything is, all as the Attorney General said, their team will also be searching through our files, and we'll find out what they say.
Carol.
Carol Robinson with AL.com. Have you, since we spoke last in the press conference, been able to retrace where she was during the 49 hours she was missing, and have you determined if she was with anyone else during that time?
We have not found anything out on either one of your 2 questions.
Right here.
Valerie Bell, ABC 3340 News. Has there been any decision about a possible civil suit against CARLEE and or
Any
her family?
fines?
Also, what impact would this have on Hoover Police Department filing a suit, have on the criminal case as well?
Yeah, we have not discussed that. Of course, we talked about the hours of overtime and all the significant resources that we used. And we'll certainly be talking to the Attorney General's office about possibly getting some of those funds returned to us.
Lisa.
Lisa Crane, WVTN 13. In an earlier press conference, you outlined some items she had taken from her employer. Any potential theft charges for that?
Those would have taken place in another jurisdiction, so we would not have charges ourselves.
Ashley Robinson, WBRC. Chief, do you mind repeating those charges and fines one more time for us?
Sure. false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor with $1,000 bond, falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond.
Chief, I know you mentioned this the last time we were together. Just wondering if you have any update on an idea of the cost that the Hoover Police Department expended in those 48, 49 hours CARLEE Russell was mentioning. And one final question, do you at this point have any more information if CARLEE Russell acted alone or anyone helped her?
Yeah, we have not finished, obviously, the 49 hours. We've been certainly busy since her return, so I still don't have a total on that. And we don't have any idea where CARLEE Russell was 49 hours.
Right here.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610. Chief, let me ask you this. Going forward, there's been a lot of concern in the community as per young Black and brown females being reported missing. Would Hoover and other agencies have the same fervor going forward as they did with the case with CARLEE Russell?
Absolutely. This, as I said initially, our focus was bringing CARLEE home when she got home. And then our focus has been to find out if there was a kidnapping. We find out there's not. We work every case like all other law enforcement does. So I don't have any concern anywhere that would be an issue.
And can I echo what Chief said? I've been in law enforcement 27 years.
Yes, sir.
Been in law enforcement throughout this state. I've never seen anybody interested in the color of your skin in investigating a criminal case.
Boy, go back and sit down.
Regardless.
Go back and sit down,
of
sir.
Your gender, your race, when that report is filed, the Alabama law enforcement is going to do its job.
Valerie,
Go sit down, sir.
3340. What was her emotional state when she
You in
arrived
Alabama.
to the jail today, and is she seeking any help at this point in time?
I was not there, so I really can't tell you exactly. And I really don't know anything else.
All right, last question.
Ashley Robinson, WBRC. Chief, what are next steps after this? What is going to happen next?
Well, right now, the Attorney General's office attorneys will start dealing with our detectives and going through case files and preparing prosecution, I presume.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Will y'all be releasing a mugshot?
Yes, we will.
Ooh.
Momentarily.
Thank you so much for answering that. Thank you so much.
Breaking news on WFLA Now.
Thank you so much for that, sir. All right. So y'all heard it. Miss CARLEE has received 2 charges worth $1,000 each. And Miss CARLEE, yeah, 2 of the charges are misdemeanors. She not going to jail. If I was the attorney, I mean, I would fight for her to not go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's like she not going to jail. People have been charged with way worse, actual felonies. People have been charged with 5 years and stuff and have been able to be out. She's probably going to get probation for 2 years, possibly. I do think sometimes with misdemeanors, it might be easier to get them dropped. But with how viral this case went, I don't see anything dropping. But I don't see her doing no jail time at all. The judge could say, I'm going to give you 6 months in jail, though. The judge could say you're going to do 90 days. They could pull a Jussie Smollett on her, say make her do some time if they want to. You know what I'm saying? The attorney can ask for something different, but at the end of the day, the judge could say, nah, I remember this case, you know, and this is what could happen. Also, what's interesting is the fact that the DA's office, like the investigation doesn't stop with Hoover. It's about to go on to the DA, and they're about to do their own investigation as well, because obviously they're going to have to prepare for a case as to why they feel like she should, you know, not be giving any leniency in what they charged. So if they find any details out about where she was for them 49 hours, or find any details out about her parents' involvement in any capacity, then they too gonna be over there with some charges. So I think that's likely a good thing that the investigation isn't technically over, but I do think that it's messed up that they don't get to talk to CARLEE no more. You know, she's protected by her attorney, and now when it comes to the DA not gonna really have no conversations with her at all. They're gonna only be talking to her through her attorney. So let me see if there's anything else. That was pretty much the press conference. I'm looking forward to seeing people's comments and tweets and stuff. I think a lot of people are upset that she did not get more than that. I do think that if she were to do those 2 years, if they force that, I kind of feel like if she did them 2 years and they only, or if I wouldn't say 2 years. I feel like the lady that kept her lie going longer than CARLEE, she didn't even get 2 years, right? She got 1.5 years though, and still had to pay a large fine. So the judge could still make her do some time though. It don't mean that it's really off the table. When we hear misdemeanors, yes, it's easier for it to get dropped, but it doesn't mean that it's off the table for real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I like to do. I like to check out Eric Guster so I can hear his comments on this. So let's go ahead and check him out.
Because they thought
My
she
bad,
was
y'all.
raped and murdered, and they got duped. I feel my heart goes out to them because they thought their loved one
Can y'all hear now?
was raped, murdered, kidnapped, the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone. They thought that was happening, and they got duped. And I really feel sorry for them. I was in there typing up my slideshow while the press conference was going on, and they busted my whole PowerPoint. But we're going to talk about the charges that were filed, and there are two charges. They're both Class A misdemeanors. And please forgive me if there is anything misspelled. I was typing real fast so I could get right on to talk to you all and explain this stuff to you. False reporting to law enforcement authorities and falsely reporting incident. There are two charges, and they're both Class A misdemeanors. Yep, glad I spelled misdemeanors right. Two Class A misdemeanors, punishable up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. Now, the problem for CARLEE is that Steve Marshall is on this case now. And tell you, I text a few people this week and I said, Steve Marshall gonna get this case. Because it smells like something Steve Marshall would get involved in. And I said, man, Steve Marshall, because Steve Marshall was here at the Crime Stoppers. He got Crime Stopper of the Year award on Wednesday. You can check the Crime Stoppers of Alabama website. He got Crime Stopper of the Year Wednesday. I said, that's what I thought charges were going to happen Wednesday. And I expected him to be a part of it. And Steve Marshall is going to prosecute the case. His office is going to take over. And the case will be tried in Hoover Municipal Court. Hoover Municipal Court, the way that municipal court works is when you have a trial, I need to check on my slides. When you have a trial in municipal court, it is a bench trial, which, hold on a second. I'm going to go to my little slide.
Doesn't a judge do the bench trial?
You have a bench trial, and it's very much like Judge Joe Brown. It's very much like something you see on TV. It's just a judge doing a case. And if that person is found guilty, for example, you can do what's called you can stipulate an appeal. You can stipulate an appeal. I'm gonna show y'all my slide. I worked hard on this. All right. This is not in district court again, but this I thought it was going to be in district court, but it's actually in municipal court. Very, very similar things where when in district court, in municipal court, you only have a bench trial. A judge talks about the case, listens to the case, and finds a person guilty or not guilty. If the person's found guilty, they have the option to stipulate an appeal, to appeal it, meaning it will go up to circuit court at the county courthouse in Bessemer. So it's not the case. Chief Dervis said that it was referred back to Hoover because it is only misdemeanors. The way these things work, and that's why those of us who've covered this, when there was information that she would be turned into Bessemer, and they were presenting the case to the district attorney of Bessemer, all of us who do this thought felonies. Because if there's a felony case that happens, it goes to the district attorney's office. If there are misdemeanors that happen with a felony, it goes to the district attorney's office and district attorney's office. Hoover said they were presenting the case to the district attorney's office, which meant felony. Obviously not, because it's two misdemeanors. And Steve Marshall's going to take over the case now. And man, she messed up. Steve Marshall taking over the case. And again, I firmly believe if she talked to Nick Durgis last week when he went and sat down with her family and said, let's end this, we would not be here. Steve Marshall wouldn't be here. He would not, just like he was saying, people searching, and he said open wounds for families. They're going to be after her. And it's gonna be bad for CARLEE for sure. And I think that it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for her. Goodness. So it's going to be very interesting. What questions do you have? I've covered pretty much everything in reference to this, I believe. Man, it killed my PowerPoint. I was so excited about my PowerPoint. But let's go to your questions that you have. We'll probably keep this one relatively short. I do expect they're going to make an example of her. Absolutely. Those statements that Steve Marshall made and the chief made, the open wounds of actual victims who were searching so that they were trying to help a family not have to bury their child like they did. It's going to be bad, man. And Steve, yeah, they're pissed. Will she do jail time? I fully expect it. Steve Marshall? Oh, I fully expect it. This is feather in the cap kind of case for him. And I fully expect Steve Marshall will be involved. Oh, someone mentioned very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, man, all these doggone questions, y'all. What did my original PowerPoint say? I'll run through my original PowerPoint real quick. Okay, I'm gonna show you all my PowerPoint. I was going to talk about district court, what district court does. District court handles misdemeanors. District court is misdemeanors of jury trials, just like Judge Judy and Joe Brown. Plea agreement, bench trial, stipulation for appeal. If I represent her, I would delay it. As time goes on, people lose public interest, and the next crazy thing happens. That's what my PowerPoint said. I've been working on my PowerPoint all morning. That's what my PowerPoint said. Now let's get on the questions. And also said that district court was the judgeship that I wanted to run for because I like district court because it's just like Joe Brown or Judge Judy. It's just you and the judge. I'm a former municipal court judge in Birmingham, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I fully expect her to serve time. Absolutely. There are no felonies yet. Correct. There are no felonies yet. Steve Marshall is going to review their file to see if, man, I was gonna get my PowerPoint in. Heck yeah, I worked hard on that. I did not learn PowerPoint until I started doing this. But Steve Marshall's going to go after her, and Steve Marshall, very good question. Man, these questions are great. Steve Marshall is going to go through their files and see if there are additional charges. One person mentioned something that about Mountain Brook may charge because there was a question about the spa. When I was told that there were 2 misdemeanors, I was told yesterday by a reporter that who asked me for a quote about 2 misdemeanors. I was like, there's no theft. There's no obstruction of justice, which was kind of interesting because theft could have been the felony if it's over $500, and obstruction of justice could have been a felony depending on what happened. And they said no. I was like, man, interesting. I thought at that point the spa decided to not press charges because you can decide to not press charges, except like on a theft case, you can say, I'm not going to press charges and worry about it. But on a murder case, rape case, sodomy cases, rape cases you can pull off. Domestic violence cases, that's what I meant. A domestic violence case, you can't just stop the charges because the state will pick those up. And I thought that the spa may not have charged her, so the spa could be charging her with misdemeanors or felonies later on. And that's a very good point. The charges will be up to the charges can keep coming. If the spa finds out that she stole and they want to press charges, they would file their own set of warrants because it could be different things that go to that. And don't forget about my I'm asking for my 5-star rating. because I would love to break stuff down for my people, and that's what I do. And don't forget about my law firm. We have the auto accidents, wrongful death cases. That's what we do. Now I'm going to go to some questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer. I'll probably be on for probably an hour. It's 10 minutes now because you all asked some. Oh, y'all asked some heck of questions. And I really enjoy this. So let me go to bail. Bail is set at $1,000. Bail, there's a bail schedule. Bail is only to ensure that someone would show up for court. That's what bail is. So it's $1,000. That's a standard high-end bail schedule for misdemeanors. They don't hold people in jail indefinitely for misdemeanors. They don't hold people in jail indefinitely for misdemeanors. So her bail is set at $1,000 each, which is $2,000. I'm not sure if they posted cash or not. Yes, so a very good point. Yes, Summit is in City of Birmingham. It's at the Summit. Very good point. So it would not be Mountain Brook. It would actually be City of Birmingham if that charge was a misdemeanor. If it's a felony from the spa, if they decide to charge, that would go to the county, which, okay. The Summit is in the Birmingham division of Jefferson County. So if she's charged with a felony in the Birmingham division of Jefferson County, then that would be Danny Carr's office who would handle that. If she's charged with a misdemeanor from the spa, that would be the City of Birmingham. So I'm 90% sure that the entire Summit is in the City of Birmingham.
So she could possibly do bail time for what she did at the spa too.
Warrant a felony theft charge. Anything over $500. There were, if you remember, her Google search was how to steal money out of cash register and a robe from the spa. I don't know the value of the robe. I don't know if it's some silky smooth robe. I don't know. I don't know how much spa robes cost, but that's what are the possible charges. And Steve Marshall, knowing Steve Marshall, you're gonna file the felony in there somewhere. I just would not be shocked. All right, will Marshall go for restitution? Yes,
of course.
I believe he will. The city of Hoover, there are several things that entities can do in reference to restitution. It can be put on the criminal case, or they can. I think that I did a PowerPoint on it. It can be put on the criminal case, or they can be sued in civil court for the restitution. There it is, right there. Restitution repayment for cost of investigation. Glad I spelled that right. Through the criminal case and or a lawsuit. Y'all making fun of my PowerPoint. Y'all getting that PowerPoint today. But this is one of my PowerPoint slides because restitution and repayment for cost of investigation can go through the criminal case and or a lawsuit, where the different entities can file a lawsuit against someone saying you owe us money for this.
So either way, she gonna have to pay what is given. On the front end with the criminal case, or the back end with a lawsuit.
I fully expected Steve Marshall to show up. I fully expected him to show up at some point. I did, but part of the problem, and let's talk about the charge being misdemeanors. The state code mandates what charges are for anyone who commits an offense. And just like Dirk just mentioned, it's up to our state lawmakers to change the code. Where he said that he was going to ask, don't quote me on this. He mentioned he's going to ask them to make an offense where if someone makes a false statement where there is a potential violent act has occurred, to make that a felony. So their hands are tied based upon the information that they had. Like I've said before, the only potential felonies I saw was the possible obstruction of justice with her lying about the orange hair man, that kind of thing, which is a tough one, but it's a possible felony, and the possible theft if it was over $500. That's where I thought the potential cases were for felonies. But based upon this, no. All right, what we got?
They need to see how long she was stealing out the register, though, because that could have been way before.
Yeah, a lot. The mugshot will definitely be released. They said they were going to release it. Okay, very good question. 11-year-old girl pulled the same sudden challenge, was arrested. That's Florida. Florida has that on the books as a felony. In Alabama, it's a misdemeanor. We can get angry all day. People can be hot under the collar, but the law is a law, and you have to follow the law. This offense is a Class A misdemeanor in the state of Alabama. False report an incident and false make a statement to law enforcement. And it's simply it's a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor.
That's
What
why
other
that little
questions
girl
do you
got
have?
arrested, y'all. It's a felony.
Yes, laws
Out there
vary
in Florida.
from state to state.
They do vary from state to state. That's crazy.
Yes, I fully expect them to change those laws now. This is a very, very, very big deal. This is a very, very big deal.
And they're gonna use
Hold
that
on
Florida
1 second, okay?
case to drive the promotion of changing the law in Alabama. At least, I mean, if they could, they would. I would think that would be wise. You see how this young girl, what that young girl did, whatever happened in our state, obviously impacted
All right,
something in Florida for this little girl to be charged and arrested.
No. This other case you're mentioning, we're talking about CARLEE right now, and that's the case that we're talking about. I will consider that other case at some point. But remember, I am a lawyer who does legal analysis. Push that case to the reporters. Push that case to these TV people. That's who gets the word out on cases. Okay. All right. What other questions do you have? If after a case concludes about bond, if that case concludes about bond, then
Yeah, that makes sense. That is the difference between Sherry and
Oh,
CARLEE.
okay.
Similarities, but it took place in different states. And California probably has a completely different law than what Alabama had, which is, why she had those 18 months. But then it got me questioning. CARLEE got 2 years right now. It's a matter of whether the judge gonna make her do them 2 years, a piece of it, or none of it. So I don't know what Sherry had on the table originally and what she was able to work out for just 18 months, and a fine. But she also got 36 months of probation too. So they might make CARLEE do 6 months and then the rest of them 2 years is probation.
This is getting
That's not what I'm not really sure, but I think you made a good point with the difference of states for them. For sure.
Yeah, I'm working on this now. As part of the plea agreement, she may have to admit where she was and what happened. I may have a guest to pop on my live. Hold on 1 second. Like this is like happening in real time.
Part of the plea deal. And actually, y'all, that's why her attorney left out that office. When I showed y'all the clip of him leaving and he was kind of smiling, that's because he knew this was like a cakewalk. That was easy money for him.
I got something happening like real time.
He done collected all them thousands of dollars from the family.
No,
and
I'm not setting up.
Gonna get some little charges as misdemeanor.
Just
he's sure he probably can make a go away, possibly.
Interesting.
Yeah, nah. We're gonna have to see concurrently or consecutively. Them 2 years, they might make them do concurrently. I think concurrently is when you pretty much do them at the same time. So then it's like she'll just do a year in prison type thing. So that I guess that would just be up to whatever the judge decides. If the attorney asks for it, then possibly.
Because I just received a text from someone and I'm trying to see if they really want to come in this live.
But I do wonder if the DA is going to find any felonies though, because they are going to do their own investigating after this. So I do wonder, what are they going to find something enough to charge her with a felony? This happened, that happened. I can't wait to her.
Well, we are
to admit
part of breaking news
to what she was doing them 49 hours.
This is I'm multitasking. What question do you have while I'm working on this? Because I doubt it will be probation. And now that Steve Marshall is involved in it, I highly doubt that.
Oh, snap.
I highly doubt that.
So it looks like she might, I don't know, y'all, she might get a good year. She might 6 months or a good year. If people are saying Steve Marshall is how they say he
These
is,
people mad at these folks.
then
man,
she
I'm
gonna be
telling you.
serving some time. She gonna be
Okay,
serving
hold
some
on.
time for sure. But I think I'm gonna conclude
Okay.
live. Let me see if somebody's
Well,
coming on his thing real quick.
Okay. This I got a text, no lie. Lanice Washington, the Bessemer Cutoff DA, just called me, and she's gonna come on the live to
The
talk
Bessemer
about
DA?
the charges that were mentioned, and y'all get her to ask her all the questions she wants. Yeah, she's about to log on. She
kinda
called
wanna
me,
hear what
and
she
that's why I
got to
text
say.
her, and
'Cause she
she's going
actively
to talk
working in that
about.
field.
Yeah, we do. DA Lanice Washington asked me. She was calling me, and I was on my live, and we're going to get to talk to the DA about what's up.
Yeah, I wanna. Yeah,
This
what the
is
DA
good.
got to say? Because she's working in that actively.
This is gonna be good.
So she about got more information than what Eric may have, even
So
though
I'm
he's
waiting on
still
her
connected.
to
That's
log
crazy.
in, and
Come on,
give
Denise,
me
girl,
1
hurry
second
up.
as I figure out how to. I'm waiting on DA Lanice Washington, and let me tell you this. DA Lanice Washington is the Bessemer Cutoff DA. Because the state is taking over, she will not be involved in this case at all. That's what I was, and y'all know I'm full of transparency. That's why I was texting like, "Do you want to do this?" That's just how I function, and asking what she wanted me to discuss. And so I sent her the link to log on, and we're waiting on the DA, Lanice Washington, to answer some questions. Man, this is about to get good.
It sure is.
Wait on her to
You
log
she
on.
need to
All
hurry
right, what
up.
questions do you have while we do that?
Come on,
While
Denise.
we wait on
Put that good wig on
this
with a
to
hat or
happen.
something. And come on up
'Cause
here
I've only had a guess.
so we
once,
can
so I
see
can't
what you
pop
got
up
to
on
say,
this.
girl.
Let me see.
Let me know that.
There she is.
Oh, there she go. Come
All
on.
right.
I knew it.
You ready, Lanice? DA Washington?
She ain't got
Hold
no
on.
choice.
I'm about
There
to
we
add her
go.
to the
Up, girl. She ain't
stream.
even got no hair. I'm talking about put a wig. I'm sorry, Denise.
Hi,
Lanice. I
DA
spelled your name
Washington.
wrong
Thanks
and
for joining
everything.
us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for calling. I was like on the live, and I'm texting like, what's going on? So tell us. Let's back up. Tell us.
Please tell us.
So your office is not handling the prosecution right now, right?
No, in terms of these misdemeanors, my office will not be handling it.
Okay. So, and like a lot of people want to know why, because Hoover mentioned that they were going to screen warrants at your office, and so what transpired with that to get us here?
So let me give your audience a background about the laws in the state of Alabama as it relates to who can issue warrants. And there's a huge misconception that DAs are the ones that issue warrants. But if you look in the Code of Alabama, Title 12, 1451, it is the magistrates who issue warrants. The magistrates are detached and neutral from law enforcement, and they issue warrants. Now, throughout this process, I have been in conversations with Hoover PD. We've discussed possible charges. I've listened to the charges that you discussed on your show, Eric, and you were right on point. And those are the only charges that are foreseeably available right now to charge her with. So normally when there are misdemeanor charges, they typically are prosecuted in that municipality, that municipal court in which they occur. Misdemeanors and traffic violations. In this instance, it would be Hoover Municipal Court. However, Hoover Municipal Court and District Court, State District Court, have concurrent jurisdiction. So we can prosecute cases that would normally be heard in Hoover Municipal Court unless and we can take those if there's a conflict. And our circuit clerk, who has just experienced a tremendous loss. She lost her husband, that was unexpected. And but through all of that, she says that she didn't want this case, which are misdemeanors. The only possible is not prison time. And I've told reporters today, it's not prison time on misdemeanors and traffic violations. It's jail time if you serve any. And she didn't want to treat this case any different regardless of the public attention. She did not want to treat this case any different than a case that she would normally handle. And because there was nothing other than the case, it has public notoriety, nationwide notoriety. Other than that, she was unaware of any reason that we should issue warrants here. So if there are no warrants, there is nothing for us to prosecute. And I want to clear something else up too. That Hoover PD, they really did. They searched for any possible charges that were applicable in this instance. And it was only on CARLEE Russell. It was anything to me regarding her parents.
Okay. Repeat that last line because you blanked out for a second.
Sorry. The weather is getting bad. They never brought anything to me concerning her parents.
Okay.
Okay.
Concerning prosecution of her parents.
Okay. And I'm going to answer some questions because people are thinking that you're related to CARLEE, and that's not
what?
Related?
Yeah, there's about you being her cousin or something, and I told people that you're not related to her.
Y'all should be saying stuff.
To clear that up.
Yes, yes. Definitely, let's clear that up. I met the Russells when the world met the Russells.
Okay.
Any case where there is such as this, when there's a child that has been abducted or any type of crime that has been committed, prosecutors represent the state of Alabama. And in this instance, the victim in this case would have been the parents as a victim representative if if something else would have happened and she was unable to come back, or any victim. I looked at the parents as in the seat of being a victim, and that was clearly it. And I've not had lunch, dinner, fireside conversations with the Russells. So I'm not related to the Russells. I think that her mom and dad are very nice people, but I'm not related to them. And also, let me clear something up as well about my relationship with Mr. Anthony. Yes, I've known Mr. Anthony for a number of years. I respect him as a skilled attorney. But we live in a country with laws. We cannot go and live in a lawless society. And anytime a crime is committed, it does not matter about the relationship that a prosecutor has with the defense attorney. When I was in law school, all of my instructors practice law. So it's not uncommon for me to see a judge or an attorney or someone whom I've known for a while.
Girl.
Hold on.
Had knowing these people give you a piece
it
of
doesn't mean that I'm going to show any
leverage.
In 2017, January 2017, 17th of 2017, I took an oath to uphold the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the state of Alabama, as long as I'm a citizen thereof. I took that oath, and it does not matter who is on the other side. In fact, we have cases that Emory and I are dead opposite of one another. So, and Eric, you know how it is. I respect you and love you to death, but there have been
fighting in that courtroom back in the day.
Absolutely. We will fight in the courtroom because it's about justice. It's not about personal relationships in the court of law. It's about justice.
Right. and I mentioned that on a live earlier that our justice system is very, very small. The legal community is very, very small. And I've gone against prosecutors. For example, Judge Shantae Owens, known her whole life. But in trial, I had jurors mad at me for yelling at her. I'm like, I knew her when she was 10. So don't get mad at me. But that's how the system is. And I appreciate you addressing that. Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
She is so cute.
All right, y'all.
It's
What
too
questions,
cute.
y'all?
We don't got no more for you, Eric.
Why apostrophe ALL for the people?
We ain't got no more for you, honey. We thank you for bringing Lanice on so that she could clear up a lot of things. We definitely appreciate it. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to hear that. We've heard the press conference. We know what's going on, child. She only got 2 misdemeanors, 2 years and $2,000 worth of, bond or fine or whatever so far. Okay. Whatever that is. I think that's a bond, $2,000 bond. Girl, she out. She with her family. I already showed y'all that earlier. What else? We just gotta wait to see if the DA finds any more charges. We waiting on the mug shot to pop up. We're also waiting to see if her job is going to file charges against her as well. Okay, so CARLEE, it do seem like at the end of the day, you still got a long road ahead of you. Okay, even with these misdemeanors, because now you got to go through this whole process of a trial, and the judge is going to have to make the determination on what happens to you. And based on how you had his community in an uproar, I think that you probably are gonna do some time, like this man said. But he also said something key. Eric said that if it was him, he would continue to try to delay the trial. And you can, because people do lose interest after a while. Yes. But sometimes judges gonna be like, no. Okay. If you can try and delay it a little too much, they're gonna be like, they need to get in here today. Okay. And then it's gonna go down. All right. So you got to be careful enough, in my opinion, to not try and delay things so much that you start to irritate the judge. Okay. So either way, good luck. All right. We know what the deets are. Miss CARLEE is indeed facing jail time, but we'll see what the judge is gonna give her at the end of the day. But I think that this is gonna be a big lesson for her to learn. I can't wait till Hoover finally gets all of their numbers together from all different agencies to find out what that large number is going to be that Miss CARLEE is going to have to pay. So yeah, that's that. I thank you guys so much for sitting up here watching everything with me. Let me know your thoughts. Continue the conversation down in the comments and everything. If you have yet to like the video, definitely like it. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.